Welcome back to the Can't Stop Talking podcast. This episode is going to be the reminder that we all need. I'm going to come back to this episode again and again and re-listen to it to get that motivation and get my head back in the game when it comes to changing my reality with our favorite thing, money. And so today's episode is going to be how you do not need proof that your manifestation is coming in. If you do not have proof, no worries. That doesn't mean anything about what you can have. And what I find trips up so many of us, including my clients, when it comes to manifestation, is they say to me, Sam, I've been doing my routine for, X amount of days or X amount of months, and I don't see any proof in my reality that it's coming. And so what happens? They stop doing their manifestation, and then it's like they're fulfilling their prophecy of obviously nothing comes, right? But in reality, if you just kept going and didn't make the fact that you didn't see evidence mean anything about what you can or cannot have, then you would get exactly what you are manifesting. And I have a story for you guys. Of course, you might have heard it before. And if you have, then you're probably gonna have to listen to it again and you need this reminder. And if you haven't, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. So the story of my parents' personal trainer. My parents have a personal trainer where they live, and she was going through a hard time. My mom, being the cutesy mom that she is, she decided to give my personal trainer my manifestation formula that I give to my clients in my membership. And my parents' personal trainer did not believe in manifestation whatsoever. She is a religious person, but she was like, what is this? What do you mean I'm just going to do these things and my, reality with money is going to change? What? But she was used to be in the army, so she was a very consistent, diligent person. She was like, you know what? I have nothing to lose. Let me try this out. So she tried this out, and she said she would do the routine every single night before she went to bed. And she did it for a month or two. And she said nothing happened in her reality, but she started to feel better. So that's the first thing. She started to feel better. And so she was like, nothing's happening. I'm going to stop. So she stopped doing it for a little bit, and she didn't feel as good anymore. So she was like, you know what? I felt really good when I was doing this routine. I'm going to do it again. It was simple. It was easy. You guys know I'm all about ease. Let me do it again. She starts doing the routine again. She said, I went and visited my parents maybe a month ago or something. And I went and I worked out with this personal trainer. She was like, Sam, you changed my life. I was like, what? She was like, I'm doing your manifestation routine every single night. And she told me this exact story, how she started it, she stopped it, then she started again. And she said, within 3 months, it was 3 months, she was like, I saw nothing in my reality happening. I did not believe my manifestations. I didn't believe this shit was going to work, which everyone asked me, do you have to believe? Nope, you don't. She was like, but I just kept doing it because I felt better. And the 3-month mark, everything came in. My whole reality changed. She was like, it all came in at once. She's a personal trainer. She went to her workout class, and she said she was used to having 6 to 8 people in it. And then she had 20 people in her workout class out of nowhere. She didn't advertise. She didn't do anything differently. And she was like, that hasn't stopped. I consistently now have 20 people in my workout class. She was like, I hit 10K months and they've been consistent. And then she was like, I met my soulmate out of literally thin air. It was the craziest story. She had someone's number on her phone that she by accidentally butt dialed. They ended up being someone from high school. She ended up calling them back, and she was like, hey, just want to chat. She chatted with this guy. They, hung out as friends, realized that they like each other. And then now, literally, it's been 6 months since they've met, and they bought a house and are moving in together. And I'm like, what? She's like, you do not understand. My whole reality changed at once. Now she's like the biggest fucking believer. She's like obsessed with this. She's like, and that's what happens. You become obsessive. It's now my religion, as you guys know. And so the coolest part about this story is that people always come to me and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't see anything happening in my reality. And I've been doing this for months. What am I doing wrong? And chances are you're not doing anything wrong. what you're doing wrong is telling yourself that you are doing something wrong because you are believing your reality, your 3D reality, more than the inner vision of what you decided. If you were the person who already had your manifestation, you wouldn't be thinking, where the hell is my manifestation? You'd be like, oh my gosh, of course I got the manifestation. Of course money's coming in. Of course my sales are here. Hell yeah, let's go celebrate. Like, you would be thinking thoughts as if it was already here. You'd be feeling feelings. You would be doing things and celebrating and feeling the feelings of it is already here, right? You would not be thinking, where the fuck is it? And it's okay, as you can see, if you are thinking that, because she just thought those things, but she kept doing the manifestations and they came through even though she was thinking that. But what I don't want for you guys is to see your reality and say, because I haven't gotten it yet, that means it's not coming. I've heard of people who have gotten their manifestations even a year later, right? And that's not to discourage you, because what I want you guys to know is your reality can change overnight. For her reality literally changed overnight. And so another story that I've heard, because I love giving you guys, like, stories are what really keep me going. But when I was in Yes Supply, there was a story about a girl who, had like 1,000 followers, and then literally overnight, her video went absolutely viral and she gained 100,000 followers overnight. You guys are feeling like, oh my gosh, if I'm not seeing little evidence of my reality changing, then it's not changing. But the truth is that you have no idea what's happening behind the scenes. You have no idea how your reality is changing. I always say this, we can only see like 0.00009% of reality with our eyes. Like, we can't actually see everything that's happening. And so even if you can't see it, that does not mean that it's not here. I want you guys to decide that it is here. And so, for example, like, you have no idea what people are thinking. You have no idea. Even I always tell this story. I had a post that I was like, oh my God, this is the best post ever. And I looked and it got 4 likes. And I was like, damn, I really thought that post was amazing. And at the time I had a mastermind, and I went to the mastermind. I was leading the mastermind, and the girls on the call were like, oh my God, Sam, that was the best post you have ever made. I looked back at the post and neither of them liked it nor commented. Was I mad? No, I didn't care. There's plenty of posts that I think are incredible that I forget to like and comment. I try to, but life gets in the way. But what I realized from that is we are deciding that because something we see in our reality, so because it only got 4 likes, that means that, people aren't seeing it. That means that people aren't changing their lives. That means that things aren't happening behind the scenes that we cannot see. We cannot see other people's thoughts. And so that was the coolest thing. That's why I always tell you guys, decide the meaning. I post now and I'm like, regardless if I got 10 likes or 100, I'm like, oh my God, that was the best post ever. Everyone needed to hear that. Like, everyone's taking off my every freaking word, right? And you have no idea. Like, I have no idea who's listening to this right now and who's going to become a client. I have no idea who's listening to this and they're like, oh my gosh, after this, episode, I need to sign up for the membership. You have no idea what people are thinking. I actually have no idea who's even listening to the podcast. The only reason I know who listens to the podcast is the people who message me, right? Like, I have people who out of the blue, I will have never talked to in my whole life, and they'll be like, I listened to your podcast not once, but twice. I'm like, you listened to my podcast twice? Like, what? Like, meaning like they listened to all the episodes and then they listened to it again. And I'm like, that is so crazy, because I always tell you guys, I posted for 8 months on this podcast and heard fucking crickets. I heard crickets, but I kept posting anyways because I knew that it was going to change lives. And it's so crazy now to hear that people are listening to it not once, but twice. Like, what? And so I want you to remember, like, you cannot see. Someone could wake up tomorrow and be like, oh my gosh, I really need to hire her. Or someone could see one post of yours and be like, yep, that's it. That sent me over the board. I'm getting in there. I've had clients come in the craziest freaking ways. I told you guys, I had a client who was like, I was going to delete this podcast and I saw you were on this podcast. And then so I listened to the podcast and I love how you run your business. And she bought literally everything from me. She joined my mastermind, joined all my programs. Like, it was insane. You have no idea, because I always hear people, they're like, well, how is my next client going to come? The how is not your job. It's not. You cannot see all the billions of people on Instagram who are looking at your stories, looking at your posts, looking at everything. Their lives are being changed and they're deciding that you are the coach for them. You can't see that happening. That's the craziest part. And even like, for example, I love the story of my mastermind. I have an episode on it if you want to listen. It's probably like how I sold out my mastermind. It's one of my favorite episodes. Oh my God. And basically, I didn't hear anything for weeks, you guys. Like I was posting every single day about this mastermind. This was my mastermind like a couple of years ago. I was posting every single day about this mastermind. I was hearing crickets, and I could have made it mean like, no one wants this, right? Instead, I just went back to the feeling of the clients are here, the clients are here, the clients are here. And the funniest thing is, I had one of my friends who was a coach. She wouldn't buy from me. She's like, actually, one of my friends, like, yeah. She messaged me and she was like, Sam, the craziest thing is the more you talk about your mastermind, the more I want to join, and I'm your friend. And so many people think like the more I talk about this, people are getting annoyed and they don't want to join, and that's what's happening. When in reality, I couldn't see the way that people were watching my stories being like, oh my God, that mastermind sounds amazing. And basically go listen to the episode. But how the story goes is the last week of the launch, I got 3 people in. The last like 5 minutes of the launch, I got one person in who just found me that day. And then I was able to, you know, fill up my whole launch with my goal. It was crazy because I kept the belief and I didn't look at my reality for proof that it was all working. And so I want you to stop making it mean that you need evidence. You do not need evidence that your manifestation is coming in. And stop making it mean if you don't have evidence that you're manifesting wrong, right? Whatever makes you feel, think, and act as if it's already here means that you're doing this right. And so instead, what I like to do, someone in my membership actually asked me this, I like to make everything a sign. So I decide the meaning for everything. You guys know I always say stop making something mean something about something else. So stop making the fact that you only got 3 likes mean that that post sucked. Instead, I make the meaning for everything. So I decide, you could decide, oh my God, nothing's happening in my reality. That means it's all gonna change at once. You could decide that, oh my God, I only got 4 likes. That means people are so obsessed with this post that they read it and they couldn't even, like and comment because they were so enthralled with the post, right? Whatever you want. You can make it that the sky is blue, so that means money's coming to me. I don't freaking know. Make anything you want a sign. Like I do that with everything. My friends are like, oh my God, you're literally that girl on TikTok. We'll be like, oh my God, it's a sign. But truly, because then that brings you into the, right vibration of it's here or it's on its way. And so I want you to know that even if you've been doing this for a couple months and you feel like nothing's working, tomorrow could be the day that your whole reality changes. For that personal trainer, she literally doubled her sales, hit 10K months, and met her soulmate. Insane. And the craziest thing about that is she did another experiment months later where she was like, I'm going to see what happens when I stop doing this manifestation routine. She stopped doing her manifestation routine and her world went to shit. She didn't tell me what happened. I can get that tea for you guys later, but she was like, my world went to shit. And I started doing the manifestation routine again. And I ended up getting a loan or not a loan. She was like, her work, where she's a personal trainer, ended up paying for her to go back to college. And she wanted to go back to college and get like another degree. Insane. Like that's so much money. That's thousands of dollars to go back to college. So she stopped doing it. Her world went to shit. She started doing it again. And she gets a freaking thousands of dollars to go back to college. Like what? It's magic. And so, yeah, I just want you guys to know if you have no proof, then that's no worries. That's okay. That doesn't mean shit about what you can or cannot have. You have no idea if literally a minute from now, your manifestation is going to come through. You have no idea if tomorrow you're going to wake up and everything you've ever wanted is here in a red bow on your lap. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But I just want you guys to know you are worthy. Stop looking at your reality for evidence. And that's all you need to know. My next episode is going to be how when you see the opposite happening in your reality, that's a good thing too. So stay tuned for that. I love you guys so much. As always, like, rate, comment if you like this podcast, share it, do all those fun things. But I really hope that this episode, helped you and helped you continue on your journey. Think about it like weight loss. Like as long as you just keep going to the gym, keep, eating healthy, the weight will come off. So I love you guys so much. If you like this episode, you just want to chat, come to my DMs on Instagram. I love talking to you guys. And if you want to join the membership, how to double your sales in 90 days with manifestation, I have testimonial after testimonial that flies in like all the freaking time, then I'll leave it at the link in my bio. Right now, it's only $50 a month. And so, yeah, I love you guys so much.